Very good afternoon to all of you. I, Mr. Sarita Pradhan, Assistant Professor of ITTM Bhubaneswar Center, welcome you all, the faculty members and the students and other participants to the Professional Development Seminar organized by the Institute Partnership Cell of ITTM Bhubaneswar Center. I take this opportunity to welcome the speakers of the day, Shri Lalit Das, IPS ADG, Police, Odisha, CMD of Police Welfare Housing Corporation, and Ms. Shara Sama, IPS, SP Gajapati, Odisha, to share their views on COVID-19 and police practices in India. I welcome all of you again, particularly since this situation has made us, not see each other for long days. We have taken this opportunity to share our views and also to give a boost to our students as well as our own self. We have invited people from various organizations, academia, and other people to share their views to boost us up. Now, without much ado, I request Dr. Adyasha Das, Associate Professor, ITTM, to take over the meeting further. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
Good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of the Indian Institute of Tourism and Travel Management, we extend a warm greeting to the students of the various centers, the faculty members, for this very first session of the Institute Industry Partnership Cell Professional Development Seminars on the EVE format. What gives me extra pleasure is that when we are talking about pandemic and COVID, among the frontline officers who are taking the stress and managing this crisis, the policemen figure. And we are extremely privileged today to have some of the top cops with us at IITTM. I'm presently speaking from the office of the Odisha Police Housing and Welfare Corporation, where I am with Mr. Lalit Das, the Additional Director General of Police, Odisha, and currently he's also holding the charge of the CMD, Odisha Police Housing and Welfare Corporation, which has played a pioneering role in providing welfare facilities to the victims and the people during the pandemic. Shri Das has an illustrious career in the police. Apart from his engineering degree from IIT, he has served in several capacities in Odisha Police, in the UN Peacekeeping Force at Sierra Leone, has received the UN Peacekeeping Medal, number of other distinguished medals in the Odisha Police Service, and he is also an MBA from the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. So I think he is just the right person to speak to us about COVID-19 and police practices, what transformations are happening, what are the crisis the police is handling. Along with Mr. Das, today we are very privileged to have with us Ms. Sara Sharma, again representing the Indian Police Service. Sara Sharma is one of the leading names among the young officers, Superintendent of Police, Gajapati District, and has earned a name at such a young age for tackling problems in a most effective manner. She's a role model for women of the state and outside. Apart from her post-graduation, she is a great singer and she has used her music to motivate police. She is the safety agent of Godrej. She has received numerous accolades, and I think the combination is extremely good. So without wasting further time, I will now request Shri Lalit Das, ADG Police, Odisha, to speak to us on this topic, COVID-19 and police practices in India.
So, madam, will use your phone?
Yeah. Just switch it on now, video.
Yeah, that.
Thank you, Sarita Madam.
Thank you so much.
Good known to all the participants. And I thank IITTM for giving me the opportunity to participate in this webinar, COVID-19 and police practices in India. So I have a PowerPoint presentation also. So I request Sarita ma'am to start the PPT.
Can you share the slides?
I've already sharing it, madam. I think we can
Okay.
see it here.
Yeah.
So this is the title COVID-19 and police practices. Presently, I am police in Odisha and CMD of Police Housing Corporation. Next slide, please.
Yes, so the next slide is there.
Madam?
No, madam, the Ochina next slide. It's not seen.
Next.
Next, there it is, sir. Not seen.
No,
Not
not
visible.
visible.
I think it should.
Continue.
So this is the, I'll come to the global scenario. Yeah, it has come. The global scenario, it started in China and it has also spread to other countries. So China also, they had deployed police and military for the intervention. And same thing happened in Italy, where the Gendarmerie, means military police, was also deployed. And similar thing happened in Spain and also in other countries. Next slide, please. We'll come to COVID-19. COVID coronavirus disease 2019, because it started in the year 2019. And next slide, please.
Yeah. Stages of disaster. It's there, I think. It's there.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, madam. I can hear you and the even it is
Madam?
visible.
Yeah.
I can see from here. Yeah, madam.
Okay, continue.
So I will handle this COVID as a disaster, because we know the disasters are of two types. One is called man-made disaster and other one is called the natural disasters. So these natural disasters are like earthquake, tsunami, flood, cyclone, and man-made disasters are like war-like situations, nuclear bomb blast, or very big train accidents. Especially this one, COVID, is a biological disaster. Whether it is man-made or natural, that is uncertainty now, and it is a disaster because it has affected human population, and the scale is very huge, and it is called pandemic. The pandemic word is that the WHO has specified a disease which is worldwide. It is called pandemic. Therefore, the problem is very big, and therefore I will handle it as a disaster management. Next slide, please. So in a disaster, there are different stages of disaster. One, we call it a pre-disaster, which means a warning phase, or it's a preparedness phase. And then there is a impact phase, the disaster phase, where we have to respond to the disaster. And then it is a post-disaster, or we call it recovery phase or the mitigation phase. In case of COVID, the warning phase was too long. When it happened in Wuhan, in China, the world watched it. So the warning was there. Many times in disasters like earthquake or tsunami, there will be no warning. It comes suddenly. But this disaster has come with a long warning. And now we are in India now in the impact phase, because we are facing it. Most of the time, in case of disasters, the disaster may last for lesser time. In case of earthquake, it may be few minutes. In case of cyclone, it will be few hours, and in case of flood, it will be a day or two. But this disaster, specifically the COVID, the impact phase is too long, too long, because now we are passing through the impact phase. And after the mostly in India, we came in April 2020, and the recovery phase will come afterwards, and we do not know when the recovery will come. So that phase is unknown. Next slide, please. So in case of a disaster management, there is a disaster management cycle. So the disaster management cycle has the preparedness phase. Yes, this is the typical disaster management cycle. The preparedness phase, or when there is an early warning. In case of cyclone, there will be early warning for a few days. And in case of, as I told, in case of this COVID, the early warning was for few months. No, previous slide. And after the early warning, there will be disaster phase, the impact phase. And after the impact phase, there will be response phase. What I mean to say that now we are in the impact phase. And after the impact, there will be response, like a rescue and recovery phase. And then the mitigation phase comes, how to build the capacity building. And then again, from mitigation, we come again to the preparedness phase. As Odisha, we know, we have faced cyclones so many times. Therefore, we are well prepared to face cyclones. But the world is not prepared to meet this COVID-19, because in the preparedness stage, there is a technical prevention. That means that the way to handle a disaster, if it is not known, then there is a chance of panicking. And the world today is panicking because there is no technical know-how to handle it. Therefore, during the preparedness phase, we could not prepare ourselves much. Next slide, please. Now I will come to the characteristic of the COVID. This COVID is very unknown to us. As I told, we know how to handle cyclones, flood, earthquakes, but we do not know how to handle COVID. So it is unknown. So it took us with a surprise. Though there was a warning phase, but it took us with a surprise. So we could not do much except. So there are no set rules for emergency planning. We could not plan in ahead because we do not know what to do. As you have seen in the airports or the railway stations, we use thermal infrared machines to measure the temperatures, so that those of the flu they can be checked. And much could not be done that period. And now, when you are in the impact phase, what are we doing? We are monitoring it. We are taking statistics. We are taking data, and we are doing social distancing, and we are making damage assessments, like number of tests done, mortality rate, but we do not know exactly how to act. Therefore, we are overacting and we are panicking. Next slide, please. So in this phase of impact phase, how to contain it? And to contain it, we are, these are the few things, like social distancing, curfew. This is a very common word used. So in case of curfews, we are not allowing people to come outdoors. So we are requesting them to stay indoors, so that the infection can be prevented. The next one is social distancing, in which we are asking people to wear masks and keep specific distance, 6 feet from each other, so that to avoid the spread of the disease. And we are also using a word quarantine, where we ask people to stay in one place for 14 days or more, so that this virus doesn't infect other people. And there are also many quarantine centers. It can be self-quarantine. Many people do self-quarantine in their home. That is what we call isolations, in their own home or in the quarantine centers. In government, we have many quarantine centers at different places, and also villages. Many schools have been made quarantine centers where people go for a specific period of time to quarantine. Next slide, please. In case of government, there are many departments which are involved in fighting this pandemic. Right, this one. The health department is in the forefront, because it is a public health issue. Therefore, we have to have more doctors, more infrastructures like hospitals, beds, ICUs, and the equipments to take care of the victims. And then comes the home department. Home department includes the police and the fire services. Police comes in the front line, and fire services, they take care in sanitizing the places by spraying many solutions. And the urban department is the most important department, because the municipal authorities and the local bodies, they take the maximum brunt, and they have to make all arrangements for safeguarding the people, having quarantine centers, and different facilities to provide food and shelters, etc. Then the general administration department, it is of government, which publishes all types of circulars, guidelines to contain this one. And finally, the information public relation department, this is to educate people and also to disseminate information to press and media, so that people don't panic, and their role also very important. Next slide, please. Now I'll come to the role of police. This presentation is about police practices. Therefore, I'll come to the role of police. The police, as I have told, in different countries, police has been deployed to contain and or to fight this pandemic. And the police has different roles, as you can see from the slide. It is to educate the people regarding the virus and how to prevent it. The second one is enforcement. This is most important and difficult duty. So the guidelines of the government is issued from time to time, and that has to be enforced. And police is the only enforcement agency to implement the guidelines. So in police, to implement this, that there will be two types of duties. We call it static duties, like we have check gates, nakas, road barriers. So they are all static duties. And the mobile duties. The mobile duties will be like the patrolling the vehicles to enforce the guideline. And other one is the law and order management, because when there is a pandemic, disaster like situations, so there will be law and order problems. Therefore, police has to make a lot of police bandobast, means police arrangements, detailed arrangements for the city, and also even they also include the rural areas, how to control it. Then rescue and relief. Rescue is to evacuate the victims either to quarantine centers or to the hospitals, and relief to facilitate distribution of relief, like you have seen to the migrant laborers or to the people homeless people. So that also they do it. And the original role of crime control also police do it. Next slide, please. So while implementing the enforcement, police should have some legal powers. So what are the acts and rules under which police enacts? So it is called Criminal Procedure Code of 1898, which is regarding enforcing 144 CRPC, and second one is the Indian Penal Code 1898. There is also Epidemic Disease Act of 1897. This has been all these acts are implemented during British period, and still they are more effective. And the Disaster Management Act is the most new one, and there are many sections which also enables police to implement and enforce the guidelines. Next slide, please. So while enforcing this guidelines, this is issued many times by the government, many times by the cities, and also many times by the district collectors, and sometimes by the local municipal commissioners, and also they have now empowered even village sarpanches to enforce some rule. And so while doing it, the police advises the violators and to not to move in the roads, or keeping the social distancing in the shops, and during vehicle checking, and there are many restrictions.
Hello.
To be enforced. And this is a pandemic situation, and this will have cascading effect after the disasters comes to the response phase. So there may be increase of crime and conflict in the different areas. And next slide please, madam. And but most problem is about there may be a global recession, and we have to fight it. And as you know, you are from the tourism previous slide, tourism areas. So therefore, it is a difficult task. I'll talk little bit about the police exercise, because this has been projected a lot in the media, social media. What is the issue is that the conflict between the safety of people and the individual right. So police, while enforcing law, there is a clause we say minimum use of force. Therefore, while you enforce, you have to use minimum force. Therefore, while using minimum force, sometimes the individual right or the freedom is violated. But these are all unintended, because in public interest, to safeguard everybody, and to see that this doesn't grow to a bigger scale. Therefore, some minimum use of force is necessary, and that police has to do, which is a thankless job. And therefore, I will say that even if it is exaggerated media, but the good thing is that it gives a it gives a it changes the public perception, so that people don't come out and make it to a bigger scale. Therefore, I would say the police is in the forefront, like the doctors, medical practitioners, health workers. So we during this impact, since we are going through the impact phase, which is a very difficult phase, we need to face it collectively, and therefore we have to see that we come out of the situation quickly, and therefore we should support police, health workers, and everybody whom we call COVID warriors, and see that it doesn't grow. We say every citizen is a policeman without uniform. Therefore, all of us should act to enforce the government guidelines. So we see we have minimum casualty, and the economic activities come back quickly. Thank you very much for this presentation. I will also take questions later on. Sarah Sharma will give you details because she is in the field level. She is the Superintendent of Police. She is facing it directly. So we should now listen to her. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Das. I think that was a extremely, revealing, address that you have shared with students' experiences. Considering that you were a visiting faculty for the Tourist Police program, I think this means that the role of the Tourist Police is being redefined, and maybe we could talk about that later. After this very interesting session, let us now move immediately to Sarah Sharma, the Superintendent of Police, Gajapati District. I have already told you about the various laurels Sarah has got. Right now, the papers are full of the activities of Sarah and the effective manner in which she has controlled Corona in that district. So over to you now, Madam Sarah Sharma, for your address.
Namaste, ma'am, and namaste, sir, and namaste, everybody. It was an amazing presentation, sir. And I would like to put up my PPT, but I'm not able to upload it. It says host has disabled the attendee screen sharing.
Okay, I'll make you the host.
If it can be enabled.
Yeah, I'll make you the host. Just a minute.
Okay, ma'am.
Chair.
Yes, madam, it is done.
Okay, ma'am. Well, a very good afternoon to all of you. And are you able to hear me, all of you?
Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Yeah, clear.
Are you able to see the presentation?
Yes, we are able to see it.
Okay. So COVID-19 was something that was new to everybody, and we were actually not very prepared to face it. So we are in the phase 3 now. The phase 1 and phase 2 lockdown are already over. And India had its first case on 30th of January 2020. I would not talk much about it. Everybody knows it started in Wuhan, and even sir mentioned about it. And then it has spread, and it has spread to a great extent. Now a lot of people are actually infected, and countries like US and Italy, they are very badly infected. The situation in India is that as on today is 49,219 active cases from one case on 30th of January. And the number of deaths have already gone up to 2,549. The situation in Odisha is also getting worse, with Ganjam facing the music, like a lot of migrant workers came to it, and now all the major number of cases are from Ganjam district, which is adjacent to Gajapati district and is a major cause of concern for this. So in Odisha, we have around 538 confirmed cases. Out of that, we had 3 deaths and charge 143. So what did we do in the beginning? We had a lot of meetings, and we had a lot of video conferences. And the first thing that was told before the start of the phase 1 lockdown was that we should keep the supply chain in place. Because the first thing is that once the supply chain, if it is not in place, if people don't get their essential supplies, then there would be a lot of havoc, and people would there would be a lot of chaos. So we had to keep the supply chain going, and we also started our Naka points. The Naka points started in the district on the 22nd of March. So we established inter-district and interstate Naka points. Gajapati is a typical district because it enjoys a around 100 kilometers long border with Andhra Pradesh. At the same time, it has a lot of tribal population. It has a lot of hilly terrain. So it was a major challenge for all of us. And there were a lot of villages where one of the doors of the houses opens in Odisha and the other door opens in Andhra Pradesh. So that is the kind of villages, and that's the kind of proximity and intimacy that people have. A lot of people stay in Pathapatnam, which is in Andhra Pradesh, but it is a twin city of Parlakemundi town, and they come and work in Parlakemundi town, which means we had to tell people to stop commuting, flying from Pathapatnam, which is about 1 kilometer from Parlakemundi town. So not to come to Parlakemundi town and work. We told either you work in Pathapatnam, Andhra Pradesh, either you stay there, don't come at all, or if you are coming, then please come and stay at your workplace. So that was a major challenge. So you can see pictures of a Naka point that we had. These are 17 Naka points that we established as the first measure to in phase 1 itself, before phase 1 itself, to see to it that the movement of people is checked. And even if there is movement, then we actually know about who are the people who are actually coming into the district and who are the people who are actually going. There were registered Naka points. There were teachers also kept in the Naka points. So the teachers are manning it, the police personnel are manning it. We joined work of the district administration and the police administration, where both of them are sitting together and manning the check gates. We have a proper register and we keep track of whosoever tries to come inside. But then there was another issue of people sneaking into the district. So that was another issue which was a problem. So a lot of arrived in the phase 3 of the lockdown. Phase 1 was almost a curfew. So we had no doubts about it. We kept on sealing our borders, asking people not to come out of the houses, and everything was restricted. So it was easy. We just told them about the timings, 6 to 10 and 5 to 7 in the evening, 6 to 10 in the morning, that they have to come out and do essential type of work that they have to do, like purchasing vegetables and medicines. Apart from that, there was a complete curfew in the district. But phase 2, there was some relaxation. Phase 3, there is absolutely lot of relaxations even in the red zones. So phase 3 actually saw the division of the country into 4 zones. First, the containment zone. Second, the red zone. Third, the orange zone. And fourth, the green zone. Fortunately, we are still in the green zone, where we have not recorded a single case of COVID-19 till date. And at the same time, like green zone also encompasses districts which don't have any corona positive cases for the last 21 days. So we don't come in either of the two categories. So we are in the green zone as of now. So this is the photograph of the first phase of arrival of people from Kerala. So that was the first batch of people who came to us, and they were, as per the government directions of the government, they were welcome. They were kept in circles which were made by the district administration. They were given food. They were thermally scanned by the thermal scanners, and then they were put in the quarantine homes, where they had to initially stay for 14 days. But the government has now increased the quarantine time from 14 to 28 days, which means 21 days of institutional quarantine and 7 days of home quarantine after that. Anybody who violated consequences as law 70. This is one place where we distributed the masks, and we made people aware, and we talked of social distancing and washing their hands. So this was also one of our main work that we had to go and we had to make people aware that they have to follow certain rules of the game, because as I told you, a lot of tribal people, very innocent and not very educated people stay in our district, so they have to be taught, they have to be they are very obedient, in fact more obedient than the people in the towns, but they have to be made aware of what is the government, what are the government rules and what we need to do and how they need to keep themselves sanitized and what precautions they need to take so that they can protect the coronavirus. So these are some pictures of the awareness campaign as well as the people who had come from the migrant workers. These were again some pictures of the mass distribution that we did. And then there was one phase when we were all panicking because just next to our district, just adjacent to our district, Shikakulam district, and about 6 kilometers away from Pallakhemundi town is a place called Pathapatnam. So in that place, we found 3 number of corona positive people. And that was one point which caused a lot of tension, because one of the daughters of Pallakhemundi, she had got married in Pathapatnam town, and a lot of people had attended a marriage just in the month of March. So the person who tested positive was kept in a quarantine center, and then after coming out to the quarantine center, he tested positive. So that was a major cause of concern, because he tested positive almost after 35 days of after coming from Delhi. So that was a cause of concern. By the time he had mingled with a lot of people, when we did the contact tracing, we found that 55 people of Gajapati district had gone to the marriage and were in close contact with him. But it was by God's grace that nobody tested positive, and we were saved from the problem. There were a lot of the lockdown rules kept on changing, so we created awareness. So this is one of the pictures where we have to create among the police officers. So every lockdown we had to create awareness. With every lockdown we had to create training. We had to give them training that they would know what to do and where things government restrictions has been and where government wants tight. These we started a no fuel campaign in Gajipur district. There are some pictures of the Nakas. This is one very good thing that we started in our reserve office. Initially, we were not having a mask.
और सर यहाँ भेजने को बोला ना, मैंने साउथ एंड स्टार कोऑपरेटिव लिखा हुआ था, वो यहाँ डाल तो अकाउंट नंबर तो आएगा ना तुम्हारा कि यहाँ से ट्रांसफर हुआ है, उसमें लिखना पड़ेगा.
So this is where we make our own masks. We have a lady home guard, a lady tailor who makes the masks, and some of the housewives all participated. And these were some messages that we shared in our SP Gajapati post. We also started a domestic violence helpline in our district as per the directions of the state government. And we also started a control room. Anybody could call the control room. We fixed up and take help. We also maintain a register wherein all the people calling to the control room are mentioned, and what remedy we could give them, that is also there. To protect our district, we also dug up a lot of trenches. Actually, Gajapati district is very crucial because we have a lot of boundaries. We have a lot of farmlands also, from where we have a lot of farmlands from where people can
अच्छा दूर से पता चल रहा है
people can speak into
पास से तो नहीं अच्छा
Hmm.
जब मैं भी आती हूँ
Yeah, so people could sneak into the district from a lot of farms roads and Kacha road. So we had these trenches dug across all over the district so that people would not be able to enter inside after the Pathapatnam issue in particular. This was one of the songs that we created to spread awareness. This is a lockdown enforcement that is being done by Gajapati police every morning and evening. Morning and evening, like morning 6 to 10 and evening 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. is when our shops open as per the instructions of the district administration. And that is when the police people go and they see to it that anybody without roaming around without any work is asked to go home, or people roaming without masks are asked to pay fines of rupees 200. And we also see that people don't spit on the roads because that is also not allowed. We also roped in a lot of Nehru Yuva Kendra volunteers because we felt that a lot of we don't have a lot of policemen to actually guard it. So what we did is that we created this NYK volunteers so that we took their names, we put them as volunteers, and they helped us in spreading awareness. They helped us in creating awareness and roaming around, and they also moved with us, and they helped us, and it was a police partner that we saw in the district rather than doing it all alone. This was a mass campaign. We went to villages, and if you can see the village, this is a typical village. There are both sides. You can see it at the back. So the other side of the check gate is Andhra Pradesh, and the side we are standing, that is this is a village where Odia people are staying in Andhra Pradesh. They are local people from Andhra Pradesh, but their lives are very, the economies are linked up, and they, for every small job, for even health purpose, for selling their vegetables, they come to Odisha. Naka points where you can the hill is Andhra Pradesh, and we are standing, that is Odisha. So even people are trying to the farms that you can see. So there also we have put up volunteers at villages who are there. They are adding this Naka point and are helping the police. This is one of the Naka points which was destroyed by thunderstorms and heavy rainfall. So after that, the collector decided that he will be painting permanent Naka posts, and the permanent Naka posts are being constructed. So this is what, despite this, the police are still working. On 6th April, just before the next stage of, just when the second phase second phase of lockdown. So we issued this advisory, and people to and requested police. I'm not able to. Yeah, I'm not able. Like it says, host has disabled you.
No, it's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it, got it. So this is again no mask, no fuel that we started, and distribution of food by a civil squad. This is also done by the civil squad of the model PS. Actually, we had to create a civil squad because a lot of people during enforcement, they were not listening to, they were not abiding by the rules of the government. They were roaming around, especially when they were roaming around without any work. So we had a civil squad in motorcycles who would roam around in every colony and every nook and corner of the town and catch hold of people who would be not abiding by the rules and without any specific. So moving around, it was helping people as well. Moving around the village in the town area, especially getting aware. So these young boys and girls are doing quite well in helping the police. This again, some of the Nehru Yuva Kendra volunteers who are also guarding who are also doing the night duty. They are doing a very good job and assisting police. Lot of our police personnel are not well. Still they are working because we don't have a lot of policemen and women. Though we have been asked to give them sedentary jobs, we try to give them. Many times, a lot of police work being. And this is what happened. This is sanitization of our district police office and the thanas which happened. This sanitization was very important. It happened for the entire district and it happened for this is what we have maintained, what we have done in the police station. We have done social distancing. We have maintained social distancing because police station is a place where a lot of people come and we cannot stop them because police is an emergency service and we have to be the. So we created a lot of circles all over in all our police stations so that people would maintain social distancing.
अभी आईपीएल बोल ली है और मेरा क्लास होगी उसमें लोगों को प्रेजेंटेशन देनी है
Madam, Sarita ma'am, are you there?
Yeah, Mr. Dubey, I would request you please to mute yourself. Mr. Darshan Dubey. Mr. Darshan Dubey.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah, please mute yourself. It's disturbing.
Yeah,
Kindly.
Sorry.
Please mute yourself.
As a presentation
This is
on, kindly
This is a
have the respect towards the presentation. Mute your audios.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So this is the Gajapati Walkers Club, which distributed biscuits and some cold drinks to the police personnel in the beginning when the police personnel were working hard at the Naka points. These are the sections of law which I would like to. These are the sections of police application. One, IPC, which is both cognizable and bailable. And it says that any distance to order duly promulgated by a public servant, it attracts this section. The punishment is 1 month or it may be 6 months and fine or 1,000 and it may extend to 1,000 rupees. These are the other sections of the IPC which we use while register cases against people violating the enforcement or violating the rules of the government. Section 269 of the IPC, which says negligent act likely to spread infection of disease dangerous to life. Again, 269 is cognizable, bailable, and 270 is also malignant act likely to spread infection of disease dangerous to life. It is also cognizable and bailable. We also invoke sections of the Disaster Management Act, particularly from the police point of view. It is section 51B, which is punishment for obstruction, that whosoever if refuses to comply with any direction given by or on behalf of the central government or the National Executive Committee or the district authority under this act shall on conviction be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 1 year or with fine or with both. So this is one of the sections which is important, and section 54, which says that anybody who is trying to circulate a false alarm or warning as to a disaster, I mean anybody who is trying to spread rumors about it, he can also be booked under section 54 of the Disaster Management Act. Apart from that, we have the Epidemic Disease Act, which says that during the outbreak of any dangerous epidemic, whoever is trying to, trying to disobey the regulation or order made under this act shall be deemed to have committed an offense punishable under section 188 of the IPC. So these are the sections which help police in booking cases against the violators. And we also have section 271, which is violation of the quarantine. So anybody violating the quarantine, anybody trying to run away from the quarantine, anybody trying to escape will be booked under section 271 IPC. We had one of the persons who was trying to spread rumor, so we booked a case under the and we sent him to jail. So this is one problem which is a big problem. Actually, a lot of rumor mongering happens. People all sorts of news. So this person was also talking about the outbreak of corona in one of the areas in one of the hospitals. So we had to catch hold of him, and we instructed. So that also sent a message that people who are trying to create panic in the social media should not do that, because that creates a lot of extra panic and it creates a lot of extra burden, because once rumors start spreading, then people are it's very difficult to control them. And even hoarding was a big issue. There were a lot of people trying to spread news about hoarding as well, that salt will become deficient, or even the price of the onions and the potatoes will go up. So that created a lot of panic. So we had to tell people through social media channels and through miking that these are not true stuff. These are all rumors. People are trying to spread it, so that some even businessmen wanted to get their products sold by spreading rumors. Onions are going to get cheaper, so trying to create panic among people. Also, the work of police try to the rumors are not spread and the right information reaches the public. We had a lot of excise cases with the government government instructing a closure of all FL liquor shops and all other liquor shops. There was a lot of illicit liquor that was there throughout the state and in our district in particular. So this was a massive raid which was conducted by Adwa Thana. In fact, when we conducted raid, then one of our sub-inspectors was very badly injured, and one of our Havildars had to lie in the hospital, and he was admitted in the hospital for about 2 days. So then again, I had to send extra force, and this was the result of the raid. We caught hold of around 27 people who were arrested, and this is the amount of liquor, illicit distillation of liquor that was being done, and this has increased manifold to a great extent that I mean, people cannot stay without liquor, and they are even not hesitating in going to Andhra Pradesh to get illicit liquor. Till date, not even for a day our liquor shops were open. So these people, they went to Andhra Pradesh and formed a long queue, people from Palakkam and the liquor bottles, and they came back. We also seized a lot of motorcycles. People were trying to sneak into the district, and people were illegally trying to go out of the district as well. So we caught a lot of any valid driving license without valid registration certificates, and these are the number of motorcycles that you can see. We also created awareness through street play about 3 days back. It became a big hit. With the traditional rustic lifestyle in the district, we thought of entering into their hearts through the street plays, the traditional street plays with the traditional characters of Yamdut and Chitragupt and Corona, who would enter into the hearts, who would be a source of entertainment, would draw the attention of the people, as well as they would find it interesting to listen to that. So when they did not listen to the police danda. So we had to tell them through awareness that please stay at home and please take precautions, because it's a matter of life and death. A small amount of self-respect will protect you from being infected with the disease. There has been a massive jump in the trust in police forces across the country. From number 18th in the trust index, we are number 4 in the year 2020. People trust us, people love us, and people think that police is their friend. Police is enforcing because police wants them to be secure and to stay safe. We were felicitated by the public in Pallakhemundi and Kashinagar area. Everywhere we went, people felicitated us, and the love has increased over the last 2 months of enforcement. People are really happy and they acknowledge the police as the frontline warriors who are outside there, despite, leaving their family out on the road for them, not taking leaves, not asking, not even requesting for leaves. Many police women having children, but still doing their duties. So that was a big thing. There's a massive jump in the level of trust that we have seen in the last 2 months, which is a very big achievement for the police forces.
Madam,
this
can
again
we,
are some pictures of the
wind up in
felicitation.
the next 3-4 minutes?
Yeah, ma'am, it's over, ma'am. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. No, you didn't need to abruptly end it. I said like in 2-3 minutes you can wrap up. You want to say
No, ma'am, it
something as a
got over,
conclusion?
ma'am. No, ma'am, I would just
Okay.
say that we have earned a lot of goodwill and trust of the people. So that is one of the biggest achievements. And due to this enforcement and other activities, that's it, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Sara Sharma. In fact, people who are listening to you probably are not aware that you are sitting in one corner of Odisha. Gajapati district is very, very far off from Bhubaneswar. We have in the Zoom meeting session today people from all centers of IITTM. So it is indeed a wonderful feeling that we have connected with 2 very busy police officers. Mr. Das is also waiting to immediately move off for a meeting. But I think the session was very informative, with a lot of the activities that you have done, the district level policing, the challenges of the district level policing, the initiatives you have introduced, and the very colorful pictures, which I'm sure must have been very interesting to the students. So once again, on behalf of IITTM, the IIPC cell, thank you very much, Madam Sara Sharma, for having set aside your time to address the students. Madam Sarita, I will request you, if there are questions, maybe 2 questions we could take.
Yeah, there was one. Somebody has raised the hand. Would anybody like to have some ask questions? Miss Akanksha was raising her hands. Can we have your question? You can type it out. Yes, those interested to ask questions, please type it out, and then we can have the answers. I think everybody has well understood. They don't
We can
have
have
any
one,
doubts. I think no one over there.
Yeah. So if there are no questions, I will be putting 2 questions to both of them, and we will wrap it up with that.
Yeah.
If there are no questions.
There are no questions till now, so you can go ahead.
My first question will be to Mr. Das. Yeah. So my first question will be to Mr. Das. But since we are basically interested in the travel and tourism domain, and we know what it has, the pandemic, how devastating the situation is in travel and tourism right now. So will there be a new role for the tourist police, like not just the standard policing measures that we're doing now, but will there be more of safety workers and health workers in the present scenario? I will request Mr. Lalit Das, ADG Police, to answer this question. Madam, if you can enable the video.
Okay. Okay, I have to request Ms. Sara Sharma to unhost, make me the host again, so that I can control that. Or you can, madam, you can this show your video, no issues. You can start the video. Just click on start
No,
video.
it's written here that you cannot start because the host has disabled it.
Okay,
How do I make you the host?
you
I'm
just
not very
click,
sure.
you click on, right click on the thing, more, you have more options.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, then in that you have make me
Settings.
Sarita Pradhan the host. Yeah, there's an option there.
Make Sarita Pradhan the host. How do I make it?
There's an option.
Host controls, okay.
Yeah, host control.
Yeah, while it happens, I think Mr. Das
we can,
is
yeah, we
getting late for
can
his
the
meeting,
answer.
so
Yeah,
let him
we can go without the
take the
video.
answer. Yeah.
It's okay, ma'am. You keep
But I'm
trying.
not able to do it actually.
It's okay, no problem. We can
The
go
tourist
without the video.
policing, the tourist policing will take some time because with the kind of social distancing being followed, so it may take a year or so to revive the tourist destination. And I think it will continue with different kind of tourist activities like adventure tourism, where there is a social distancing or trekking. That kind of thing may pick up. And
So you mean to say it will be more domestic tourism centered?
yeah, domestic tourism centered, and but mostly it will do with a distancing thing. So it's a tough time for both
Ma'am,
tourism
you are the
sector
host now.
and for the
If I
hospitality
can
sector.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So that is a thing, but I will say that to improve the economic activities, other kind of tourism like with tourism with tented activities in the different isolated locations, that may pick up, and police has to change its view so that we can give safety and security to that kind of tourism. It will be a new challenge to police. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think that gives us impetus to think about a new training program, maybe for the tourist police as a refresher tourist training program. I will now address the same question to Madam Sara Sharma, and that would be for women travelers. So, would you say that solo traveling is here to stay? Like, you know, solo women travelers are a huge chunk in India today. So, would you agree that traveling solo will become the norm of the day now for some time? And here the tourist police can also extend help.
Yeah. Ma'am, definitely, because
Yes.
even air travel is going to am I able to hear? Are you able to hear me, ma'am?
Yeah, we are. It's audible.
Yeah,
It's audible.
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Well, if we look at the kind of trends that is seen in the tourism industry, then basically solo tourism will be here to stay, because most of the airlines will become expensive with lot of social distancing norms even in the planes. The travel industry will also have to, the flight aeroplanes have to carry 50% of the people, 50% of the total population that they can carry. So with those things in place, I think it is going to get expensive, and the solo travel is also going to be going to stay here. And besides that, we will also see a spike in lot of eco-tourist locations and adventure tourism, and even religious tourism will see a drop. So a lot of students who used to go abroad for studies, they will also not be going much. So lot of trends will be changing in the year 2020 and beyond, because this is going to stay till the year 2022. So this is one of the issues that is becoming that is going to be. So solo tourism will be there, and a lot of people will not actually prefer to go also, because we see a lockdown is now almost in all the countries. There has been a lockdown. In many countries like Samoa, which are not infected by this pandemic, they don't want people there. So travel restrictions will be here at least for some time now, and people may prefer more of domestic travel than international travel. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. With this, we come to the end of today's Industry Institute Partnership Cell's first professional development seminar on COVID-19 and police practices in India. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Sri Lalit Das, Additional Director General of Police, Odisha Police, CMG Police Housing Corporation, and Sara Sharma, Superintendent of Police, Gajapati District, for having joined in this session and given their valuable insights. I'm sure it was a very illuminating session for the students. Thanks to the students from the various centers of IITTM who have joined in as well, along with faculty members and some of the representatives of the police department. I thank Mrs. Sarita Pradhan for her invaluable support in coordinating this session, and Dev for helping out as well. I sign off here with good wishes to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.